Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
There's Mr. Enfuego, one half of the Baseball Junkies podcast. Before we get the show going, we just want to make sure that both you, the viewer, and the listener are fully aware that this podcast is not intended to provide any form of investment advice. The opinions expressed here by either the host or any guest do not necessarily reflect the views of any sports card investor, organization, and or entity within the sports card market. Any discussion of sports card values in the past or present is not a guarantee of future performance. Two collectors with a common love of baseball cards. A league of her own, Mr. Enfuego. Welcome to the Baseball Junkies podcast.
What is going on? Welcome to the Baseball Junkies podcast. I'm your host, Adrian from A League of Her Own on YouTube.
And I'm your boy, Mr. Enfuego. Disregard the name in the chat. I'm only in jail for another week.
Mr. Enfuego, we can't have nice things because of you, man.
I know.
Oh, you guys, thank you so much for being here. We have a special podcast tonight. We've got some guests coming on tonight. We have got, may I introduce Huddle Cards, Michael and Anthony Pittsburgh. Ooh, I have them muted for some reason. Gentlemen, welcome.
What's happening?
What is up? Thanks for having us.
Yes.
All right, guys. If you guys don't know, Huddle Card, Michael, Anthony Pittsburgh, they have a weekly podcast as well. We were on their show a couple weeks ago. It's called Collecting Profit. They talk about everything sports card related, not just baseball like me and Mr. Enfuego, because we're slow. We can only handle one sport at a time.
Yeah.
But gentlemen, thank you guys so much for being on here tonight. Why don't you introduce yourselves and let the audience know a little bit about yourselves?
Absolutely. Age before beauty, Michael.
What's happening, everybody? Hey, Michael, Huddle Card Collection here on the YouTube. Been in the hobby for a very long time. Been fortunate enough to meet a lot of great people, and also fortunate enough to basically hang out with that handsome devil on Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock doing a show. So happy to be here. Thank you very much for the invite. looking forward to a great night.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. My name's Anthony from Pittsburgh YouTube channel. Do a lot of hard stuff as well. Just like Michael was saying, we do a podcast Wednesday evenings. Been blessed to have these two on. It's been, fun collaborating with them, and we're excited to finally be here and to be able to talk some baseball with the Baseball Junkies.
And guys, I also want to let all the audience know you guys each have your own individual YouTube channels as well that are amazing. Huddle Card. I'm calling him Huddle because that's the name of his channel, Huddle Card Collection, but his name is Michael. He does weekly rip and ships at great prices on his channel every Wednesday, I believe it is.
Thursday.
Okay, Wednesday is the podcast.
Yep.
All right. So every Wednesday, Collecting Profit podcast is on Huddle Card Collections channel, I believe, for the most part. Sometimes on Pittsburgh's channel. Pittsburgh also on his channel, all things hobby and all things. Right now he's doing like this whole travel thing with his girlfriend. That's wonderful, fun, good positive energy, good fun stuff.
Thank you.
So you guys, I've got all of their information in the description. So please go check them out. Consider, watching a video too. Maybe consider subscribing, giving support. They've got really good content. So these two gentlemen are along for the ride tonight. We're going to do our podcast format pretty much the same. And it's just, we wanted to have some insight, their
two additional opinions.
Yes. And then we're going to just get right into the nitty gritty in our hobby news and banter that we do every week. So without further delay, let's get right into these upcoming releases. All right, guys, as we touched on a little bit last week, the big release coming out on the 12th is 2023 Bowman Draft. And it's not necessarily for the baseball cards in it this go around. There are going to be Tom Brady autos in this. If y'all don't know, Tom Brady once was a baseball player in the Montreal Expos system. So he's got some insert autos that got a little bit more interesting that we saw here on Instagram views and stuff. What do we see, Mr. Fuego, on those Tom Brady cards autos?
Well, it appears that whenever they asked Mr. Brady to go ahead and place his signature on said cards, being the overachiever that he is, and rightfully so, he went ahead and threw a little extra wording while he's doing his autograph. There's some cards where he's put something that we'll need a translator to determine what he wrote. But then there's other ones where he wrote, if baseball doesn't work out, there's always football.
That was awesome.
100%. Yeah, there's been talk a little bit here on Instagram where we got to see some of these inscriptions, and a little talk from David Adams about possibly having bounties, chases, and stuff for these different inscription cards, where we did see the 1 of 1 itself had nothing but his auto on it, but some of the other numbered ones had these interesting inscriptions on it. So definitely, guys, check that out on Instagram and stuff with that whole deal. What do you two guys think about Bowman Draft, Bowman products in general, as far as baseball goes?
I love what they're doing with it as far as adding Tom Brady, as far as a chase from outside of what they currently have, because you're still going to have all the regular chases that you would have in a Bowman product. But on top of it, they're like, hey, let's add an extra level of chase on it. So now all the football fans that love Tom Brady are going to be chasing after this product too, even if they don't like baseball. You know what I mean? Like, I can totally see a
100%.
football fan trying to chase after whatever Brady autos that they can get.
Yeah, it's definitely a great idea. It definitely does that. Sometimes it makes you wonder why. Was there something missing from this Bowman draft that they felt that they had to put a guy like Tom Brady in it? Was there going to be a lack of interest if it wasn't for getting someone like that? So I'm not sure. I look at it this way. The truth is this: if none of those cards are going to be in any of the mega boxes that you can go and and get, if it's only going to be in the hobby or the jumbos or the hobby boxes, then it really doesn't make a difference to me, because those, they're going to be so overpriced because he's in there now. I mean, they were going to be expensive to begin with. Now they're going to even go higher.
100%.
I can imagine.
I talked on this a little bit last week, just giving you guys all a heads up on the price points. I'm looking on blowout cards right now, so the prices vary from site to site, but this is roughly where we're at here. So they've got the Bowman Draft HCA Choice Box. This is a 1-pack box with 3 cards per pack. These are usually all autos. This is for the guy that doesn't want to deal with any kind of base or paper.
Kind of like a Breaker's Delight.
100%. Those are about $440 showing on blowout right now. Now, if you want a regular jumbo box, those are about $550, and the super jumbo, because we don't have just a regular box, I guess, because it's Bowman Draft. Those are looking to be $750 right now. Now this is all pre-order prices, guys. This comes out. I kind of a point to what you said, Anthony. It makes me think, like, I'm always trying to think of what these guys, like, especially fanatics, what they're thinking about. Was this like, is this part of the 10X thing? Like, if I'm a baseball card collector, I don't buy football or basketball, but if they put a baseball card kind of, in a product like football, that makes me think to buy it. So now we're going to have people that don't normally buy baseball cards going for it. So is it that kind of I don't know.
They've done similar stuff in the past. Like, for example, in 2004, I believe Upper Deck put out a baseball card of LeBron James throwing out a first pitch. And that was, I believe, a super short print that year. So they have had different athletes in the past, but this is like almost a completely different level, because now you have him customizing several different things to where it might be numbered out of like 99 or however many, but it's basically a 1-of-1, because Tom Brady's not writing more than one. If baseball doesn't work out, there's always football, or whatever other smirky like little comments that he's put on. You know what I mean? Like, I think those would be like super desirable.
I mean, it would have been cool to see those classic two sport players like Bo Jackson, maybe.
That would be
maybe
a great
Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Brian Jordan, a lesser known one, Brian Jordan.
Michael Jordan. Yeah. I mean, there's quite a few of them, but I guess since he built an established resume with football, why not have him as the pilot, I guess?
So that's what we got. Bowman Draft. Let us know in the chat what you guys are thinking. You guys picking this up? Are you doing what I've been doing?
Real quick though, Adrian, and we spoke briefly about it earlier. This new format, this hobby super jumbo, the configuration kind of threw me off. I mean, we're looking at, what is it? I just had it here. Where'd it go? Oh, so basically the configuration is 120 cards per pack. There's 5 packs per box and 6 boxes per case. But now if you break it down even further, we're looking at 1 auto, a transformative talent insert, a draft pick prospects insert, 8 chrome refractors, 76 base, and 33 base chrome cards. I mean, who's going to have time to break into all that?
I feel like I almost wonder if that's a typo. It can't be, though, because it says 5 packs per box. Like, or if I'm just not, I know the jumbo packs were always a lot bigger, but 120 cards in a pack.
Yeah.
I wonder if are they the ones that are 2 packs together? Maybe it's both packs together count as the 120. Maybe
well, how they got it written there, they got it written as if it's just 1 pack.
Yeah, because they're saying 5 packs per box. So yeah, we'll see. And then I've had people ask last week about if they're doing Bowman Draft Light. And I haven't seen anything on that anywhere, so we're still keeping an eye on that. Okay, also coming out next week on the 13th, we've got 2023 Topps Heritage High Number. Topps Heritage, it's a fun set. It's set collectors kind of thing. That's going to be cheap. It's going to be about $70 a hobby box. If you're just wanting to rip a hobby box, get yourself an auto. That's fun. It's not the most exciting stuff. If you're someone that's doing reselling and things of that nature, Heritage is just might not be for you. But if you're someone that's looking for something at a bargain, there's still fun baseball cards that reflect an older set. So always fun. Also coming out one of my favorite like newer sets because they just look so damn nice is 2015. On December 15th, the 2023 Topps Chrome Black comes out. Those are 1-pack boxes with 4 cards. One of them is a sealed autograph. You usually get a couple base cards, a numbered card, and then your auto can be a base auto or numbered.
Right.
Those are running about 150,
150 to 170.
Perfect. Thank you. So, and then also they haven't changed it, and they did change it to no longer to be announced on December 16th. The Topps flagship Japan edition is scheduled to come out. And, some of us like to get the UK or the Japan edition. They usually are a little bit heavier on the serial numbered card side, and in the Japan edition, the cherry blossom insert is usually really popular.
Yes.
So that's something we'll be looking at next week. All right, you guys, let us know what you are looking to get in the chat, and I'm going to move to reviews of this week's product, unless any of you gentlemen, anything you want to throw in real quick before I head on to the next topic.
I don't know.
No, those will be interesting ones. You'll look forward to it.
Awesome. All right, guys, let's get on to our product reviews. All right, there was some surprisingly fun stuff that came out, and we got to see a lot of openings of this week. 2023 Topps Inception, which I always kind of dog on personally a little bit. It's not one of my more favorite sets. Has been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
the most part. It is another one of those boxes that's 1-pack with 6 cards.
7
cards. You get an auto. You get some green parallels. You get a numbered card in there, and you get some really beautiful designs. They've got
the patches are insane.
The patches have been insane. In previous years, I feel like I don't know if it was just super watered down, or if this year they upped their game with the patches. I've seen a lot more patches. So that one card you get, even if it's not the highest named player, the patches have been like one of one style looking patches.
Do you think that's a Fanatics factor, being that they're now producing that stuff and they're in charge of also the apparel? Do you think they're making sure they get really primo stuff for their products?
I hope so. And it certainly seems like it, because the patches, Mr. Enfuego and I both splurged last night over on the channel, thecarddeal.com. Arnie over there, he had gotten a case of that in, and Mr. Enfuego, I don't know, I don't want to spoil it if you want to share on your channel, but he got an amazing out of 5 auto on his, and I'll just say mine, because it wasn't the biggest name. I got a JJ Blade. JJ Blade. I'm excited today, guys. I'm sorry. I'm excited you guys are on here. I can't keep up with myself. JJ Blade. He's still in his Miami uniform, but he is an Oakland A now, which is my team. So I was excited to get a really huge jumbo patch with all the Miami colors and a nice autograph on there. I believe it was a sticker auto, but the card is gorgeous. He's an A. I'm going to keep him in the PC. And all the other openings I saw this week, striker breaks, he opened a case of it, and he got a really amazing triple auto out of the first case he opened, and then he opened more, and Mr.
wasn't as great.
Yeah.
But to me, this year's Inception, when I actually dove into it and I've seen everybody rip into it, I kind of look at it as the grandfather to Cosmic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No. The only difference is texture of the card itself.
Yeah.
Both of them, beautiful designs. I'm not going to take that away. But if I had to pick my poison, I would actually go with the Inception versus the Cosmic, simply because it's already has that established rapport, if you will. You know what to expect out of Inception. Cosmic, they're constant, since it's relatively new, they're starting to add stuff. Like for 2023, they started adding the planetarium, whatever the name of the inserts are.
Yeah, now you got me. Planetarium. I got one of them too. But you got the sun, the moon, all the planets. The farther away the planet is, the more
the rarer the card is.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah. What do you guys think? I was doggone this. To me, this is a set. Like if I buy a box of this, is splurging. This is a lot of money for 7 cards. I was talking last week about if I get any of these cards, it's going to be singles of who I want on the base, on eBay kind of thing. But how do you guys feel about it?
I think it's really cool. I'm not really that big into for me, that's like a lottery ticket. Like my best friend Marty rips high-end boxes like they're going out of style. And I've seen him like rip so many of these 6-pack 6-card boxes and like end up with like a low-end rookie that it doesn't make it worth it. So for me, I'm more so like I'll stick to like the lower end hobby boxes or like retail products whenever I can get my hands on them for the most part.
Increased
when it comes to like singles though from these products, like if it's a player I believe in, I'll normally dabble in it, but most of the time it's to flip it because the market is so volatile. I was just showing my girlfriend, like some dude sent me some message on like Veriswap, like, bro, your prices are so like high or whatever. And I like comped it based off of like what my eBay prices are. And literally just like from one card show to the next, like just the swing and like how drastically like lower some of these cards can be, you know what I mean? So because of that, I try to stick to more of like the lower stuff just so I'm a little bit more protected. Plus I'm more of a collector too.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff I get that isn't a Steeler or like one of the teams I personally collect, like in baseball would be the Pirates. You know what I mean? Like if it's a Pirate, I really don't care. You know what I mean? So
100%.
eBay store for the most part.
100%.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, I may look for singles on eBay. If I do anything, I would maybe get into a case break and just try and, get, the Mets and stuff and just be happy with the ones you get, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's great getting everything, it's cool to open it and so on and so forth. But, to me, in my opinion, that's one of those products where I'm hoping that at least one of those 7 cards is of the team I collect.
Right.
Like I'm not. It doesn't have to be the. It doesn't have to be the auto. It doesn't have to be a patch card. It doesn't have to be
as
a
long as
number
it's
card.
something.
But at least one of them, right?
Right.
I'd want to at least be for the team that I collect. Yeah. But like I said, like you, Adrian. I mean, to just sit there and buy a box. Kind of hard, but like I said, I'll look and see if anybody has, Mets should not be a real expensive team, and as long as there's a good quantity of boxes, I may try it once or twice.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like when kind of like what Adrian was saying earlier. We did purchase a couple of Inception boxes yesterday, and I was hoping I would pull a J-Rod, even if it was base. I did get lucky, okay, despite somebody had their feathers ruffled because out of the kindness of their heart, they went ahead and got it for me anyway. But the hit that actually kind of had me sit back in my seat a little bit was the autograph of Bryce Harper, numbered to 5. So, I mean, definitely a lottery ticket.
Yep. Mr. Fuego hit a good one last night.
Hey, Fuego, 2 words. Alan Forrest.
Yep. There you go. There you guys go. Everybody that's listening right now, Alan Forrest is a supporter here, like has a channel, and he posts in our Discord all the time all these amazing, mostly Bryce Harper cards.
Yeah.
And I mean, not just base rookies of anything. This is Bryce Harper 101s or 110 autos, like out of this world freaking inserts and stuff. So yeah, that's exactly what I thought of when you pulled that card. Yeah, this. So I gotta say, like, I just want to say, I I think Mr. Fuego, I don't know, I had a $50 credit, so that's why I was like, I'm gonna splurge on this, but I haven't been buying any. Like, I'm like you guys. If I do buy a hobby box, like, it's gonna be something I got a lot of cards. Like, I'm gonna get a lot more for my money, kind of thing. It's tough. It's tough with those because they are lottery tickets.
For
So,
sure.
um,
And that's the tough part. Like, even if you hit good, like, you think back to 2019, like, whenever everybody was running after Zion Williamson, now those
mhm.
cards are like literally a fraction of what they were. And it
Oh
could
yeah.
literally
Oh,
be
yeah.
that across any sport that you collect. You know what I mean? So, in
Yeah,
that same sense, like, where Miss William Frago loves J Rod, imagine he just takes that money and goes right to the J Rod card. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Guarantees himself getting that J Rod. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
even if it goes down in price, that's his guy. He doesn't want to sell it anyway.
Exactly. That's a
Yeah.
huge factor I think people should consider now. Like, think about what cards you want out of it. Look what they are individually and compare it to the price of the hobby box. A lot of times you might be saving yourself some money, especially if you're trying to get one or two boxes to find that person. You might just go for it and get it, either right off eBay or even better, you might find one graded already and be completely good to go if that's your route.
I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind in those instances, all those hardcore Tatis fans. Before the incident, his stuff was barely affordable.
Man.
Now it's like you could find them at Dollar General, 5 and below. I mean,
You're right.
Yeah. I was pumped. Somebody got a Tatis auto last night, and I was like really excited about that
Yeah.
for that person. And then I go look at what they're at price at now. I'm like, ooh, maybe I'll
Yeah.
pick up a couple too. Shoot. so anyways, we also saw. Ooh, I love Sapphire, guys. Topps Chrome Update Sapphire.
Yeah.
Dropped on Topps, and people got their boxes. A lot of people got their boxes already, and we saw some openings of that. Talk about a mega box that's way freaking too expensive. And I just opened a Bowman Chrome Sapphire box on my channel because my brother-in-law wanted some, and he had me order it for him, and he let me open it on the channel. So I mean, that was
Nice.
super cool. So Chrome update came out. We watched some openings, and there's the biggest thing, I don't know, is that new parallel that came out for me. Mr. Fuego got me with it, is they came out with a black sapphire card that's numbered to 10.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Guys, it's gorgeous. Google
is.
that
I
up
mean,
when you're done here. Look at the black sapphire. Whew.
because
Not too
initially
shabby.
when I first brought it up to Adrian, she's like, "You mean Topps Black Chrome?" I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
Sapphire. Here's
Yeah.
the link to the video. Go check it out."
Mm-hmm.
And I like how they did it because it's tastefully done. Not only, I mean, you could take any player's uniform of all 30 teams, slap it on that black sapphire, it's gonna pop.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. And especially it's a low number too. I mean, if you get the right person, if you're into the business of flipping it for something better or whatever the case may be, those are some ones that you'll get your investments worth.
I got a friend my mom, but I have a friend that collects cards and is really San Francisco Giants, and they love the black parallels. So I thought of that. I was like, oh man, black sapphire, one of your San Francisco Giants. Whew. So yeah, aside from that, saw some openings of that. Won't be opening any of that. Maybe I'll get singles of that. Those boxes I think ran on Topps for about $240, and they're way more than that now, because the openings I've seen of it have been pretty decent. The biggest thing is they do have autos in them. They're guaranteed 2 parallels. I have yet to see a box open that only has 2 parallels. There's usually 3 or 4 in there. So that's making people happy and excited about it. But that skyrockets the price, and Chrome or Sapphire is just insane, but fun. The other thing we saw this week was Topps black and white. That was a Topps exclusive. I think those were, I want to say $50 a box, but I feel like that was last year, and I feel like they went up way more than that on Topps. But all the cards are, got the black and white look to them, kind of
Stadium
a matte
Club
finish.
quality.
Yes, Stadium Club quality as far as the photographs, and they've got some cool parallels in there, like a golden background, and then the reverse negatives got a different look to it too, different colors and stuff. So it was a good week of watching cards getting open because they're all beautiful stuff.
Definitely.
The Inception was a surprise to me. I'm not a huge fan of that all the time because sometimes the colors are like a little bit too much to me, like Topps Fire. Sometimes, not all years. Topps Fire, some years cool, some years it's just too much going on. And but this year's been a pleasant surprise. So yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna keep on moving so we can really start wrapping here. Let's I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do this differently today, Mr. Fuego. Just to give you a heads up. I'm gonna kind of combine I think hobby news and banter will kind of combine together so we can all just talk and stuff right here. I think I'm
kind of expected that.
Okay, I'm gonna skip right ahead. We're gonna do some trivia. We're gonna throw up a trivia question. Let's get you guys ready in the chat here to answer that. Whoever answers right first in the chat, we put your channel and your name all up on our website all week, and we shout you out here on the show. We shout you out on our website. So let's get ready. You gentlemen ready too?
And for those of you that are going to be listening, feel free to go ahead and email us at the website with your answers too. We'll be glad to get those as well.
There we go. All right, here we go. Trivia starts now.
All right. So for those of you who's actually listening in or will be listening in on your favorite formats, the question is, this particular player was 17 days shy of his 43rd birthday when he hit his first and only home run and was actually deemed the oldest to do it. Who was that player? And the answer that you should have came up with should have been Bartolo Big Sexy Colon, where on May 7th of 2016, he actually hit that home run against the San Diego Padres.
While playing for the New York Mets.
Yes, I love Bartolo Colon, man. I am seeing in the chat the winner is Nikki 2 times. Do you confirm that?
Yep.
Awesome. Nikki 2 times.
Congratulations, Nikki.
Congratulations, man. We're gonna get you all shouted out. You guys, you should be able to click on his name for the most part, most of you. I'm gonna also try to get his channel put up here so you guys can.
You keep running your mouth. I got it.
Thank you. I know.
So an interesting thing about Bartolo Colon also is that he's part of that Middle Eastern League still and going to be pitching
at 50.
Yeah, at 50 years old.
He's a boss.
Hey, play baseball. I still play, and I'm beyond 50.
Yeah,
it's awesome. I love it. All right, guys. Congratulations, Nikki. You guys, Mr. Trojan, man, put his stuff in the chat there. So go ahead and click on him and check out his stuff. He opens up a little bit of everything. Really big supporter of the card community. So happy to get him a shout out. Oh, and he's on his way to 300 subs. So very cool. All right, guys. So moving right along, I want to do the top 5 card sales of the week. It's going to be a fun one, guys. A lot of you guys might just guess it with all the stuff that's been going on in baseball this week. Number 5, here we go. All right, we have got Jared Kelenic. That is his 2018 Bowman Chrome first refractor. We are seeing 7-day increase of 41.7%, a 30-day increase of 69.2%. You can probably pick this card up raw for around $10 to $20 on eBay. Jared Kelenic, this past week, maybe late last week, was traded to the Atlanta Braves. So that was surprising. Atlanta Braves had a lot of interesting things happen in the past couple of weeks.
Stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so Jared Kelenic, who started off hot, had a sophomore slump, kind of picked up a little bit again last year, heading on over to the Braves now. And that's what I got for his for our number 5. Mr. Fuego, what do you got there?
As far as a PSA 10 is concerned, the last one actually sold yesterday for about $42.
Ooh,
not
bargain.
bad.
Bargain. Awesome. All right, guys. Michael, Anthony, you got all your Jared Kelenics out, ready to go?
I'm sure Michael does. He's probably liquidating at this point.
Mine can be sold.
That's what I that's what I said today. I saw him on the list. I was like, oh, it's time for me to get all my Jared Kelenics out and get them out of here. Maybe I'll keep one or two just in case he gets freaking crazy hot. All right, now we're going to go on to number 4, and this is going to be the beginning of a pattern, gentlemen. Here we go. Here we have the 2018 Topps Update rookie debut card of Mr. Juan Soto. He made the news this week as well. Did you guys hear about him? No, I just kidding. If you guys didn't hear, those of you listening, Juan Soto headed over to the Yankees. Anytime there's anything going on with the Yankees, it's big baseball news. This card can be picked up for about $5 on eBay. We've seen a 7-day increase of 24.3%, a 30-day increase of 42.9%.
And folks have been jumping on the Juan Soto train like nobody's business. So there was 5 sales that happened yesterday. The earliest was at a PSA 10 for $32, and the most recent was $40.
Not too bad. So that's, I talked about this a couple weeks ago. In case you guys know, those rookie debut cards don't usually go for a true rookie, and as you saw in the image there, those of you that are listening, rookie debut is actually printed on the front of the card. Usually comes out. Not usually, always comes out in Topps Update. Update for 2023 is out right now. All the top rookies have rookie debut cards in there. Some people are big on collecting those, but those, as far as if you're doing value wise type of things, the rookie debuts just don't go for as much. All right, let's number 3. It's funny. From the time I did this list earlier today, the list has rotated a couple of these here. It looks like the one it just showed was the 2018 Chrome, I believe it was. Did it just show Chrome? Okay, yep. They switched that one. So, 2018 Topps Chrome Update rookie card of Juan Soto, 7-day increase of 24%, 30-day increase 40.8%. This card raw is going for about $50-$60. God dang.
And that's expected. I mean, for a PSA 10, the most recent one actually sold for $95.
Damn.
Wow. That's a steal.
It is.
Wow. Yeah. Man, when the hobby was crazy, 2020 stuff like that, the prices of these cards raw or 10s were just insane. So anyways, all right, guys, let's get number 2 here. Here we go.
Wow.
haven't caught on to the pattern yet, guys, Juan Soto got traded to the Yankees, and everybody wants all of their cards now.
Yep.
So that bear that I just showed on the screen is the 2017 Bowman Draft base card. This card raw is going for about $2 to $5 on eBay. Recent sales last 7-day increase of 53.9%, a 30-day increase of 48.2%.
Last sold for a PSA 10 was yesterday at $45.
Ooh, good deal. Some people, I feel like, Bo Bichette's my guy. Like, I always try to get all these prospect cards. I don't feel like the prospect cards are usually that big deal overall in the market, but they are kind of fun to have. So,
Yeah.
and that people are looking at, and it, tends to be a little bit cheaper. All right. Last but not least, number one. Can y'all guess who it's going to be? Okay, that was the chrome one. It must have been the paper one earlier that I talked about. So I'm going to give you guys the numbers for the paper. They did swap around here. 2018 Topps Update base. 7-day increase of 33.4%. 30-day increase of 28.5%. The paper base is going for we'll say about $20-ish on eBay.
That's
Go
offered.
for it, Metal. Go
Now,
for it.
the last PSA 10 actually sold yesterday for $55.
Wow.
Dang.
Holy crap.
Everybody, this was like part of a conversation several weeks ago about base being dead or whatever, but no, base cards are the first to go if you're trying to sell it. Like, people they heard about one and they just want to have one of his rookie cards, and I feel like they go for the base paper, base chrome first. So that's why they, maybe not for crazy money, but they do. If you guys are thinking about liquidity wise, like, those tend to go first. I don't.
Yeah.
What do you guys? How do you guys feel about that comment? What do you guys think?
Typically, if it's an expensive card, I'll normally start on the paper. Like, I'm a huge LeBron fan, so like growing up, I was poor. So most of the LeBron rookies I have, I started on paper and kind of worked my way up to the chrome. Now that you can basically rip and get the chrome out of the pack, it's kind of a game changer because it's a lot easier to get access to it now. But depending on the player and the cost of the card, sometimes it is, or like, say you're a casual collector, you're not like a degenerate like most of us are, where you're gonna get like every J-Rod like some people that I know. But some people might just get in there and be like, hey, I just want a card of Soto, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab this base paper one because it's cheaper than the chrome one, or than these other ones that have parallels on them or whatnot. So I see why that would be a more transacted one, just because it's more readily available. People that have less liquid income can afford to get it. Even kids, for the most part, you know what I mean? Like, most kids can afford to spend $50 on a card nowadays, which that still seems like a lot of money, but
little Timmy is looking for that high end.
I know.
Hey, little Timmy spends more money at the card show than I do.
Little Timmy has more money than I do. Yeah.
Color blasts and kabooms and
little Timmy shows up at the card show with his Zion case packed with PSA 10s.
Yeah. So.
All right, guys. So now we're going to get into our favorite time on the podcast. We're going to talk about all our hobby stuff and all that. It's time for some banter. Where shall we begin? Shohei Ohtani to the Dodgers for $700. I really thought it was a typo. $700 million.
Really tough, for Shohei.
I mean, all this news was breaking. Me and Mr. Fago were on StreamYard talking to each other, like planning for today. and my brother-in-law sent me that, and so we started looking at our stuff, and then my brother-in-law sent, "Hey, 700 million for 10 days." I was like, "Oh, he typed in one too many zeros," or something like that, and then we get to looking, and both of us were like, "Damn,
Yeah.
what happened?" So, and the Dodgers, no less. Gosh. So that was crazy. And Juan Soto, was it yesterday, day before yesterday, to the Yankees. So, that automatically for us, like baseball card crazies, like we automatically go to like, I wonder what the cards are going to do, what's going on with that. And, what do I have that I can pull out and do
Yeah.
something with and stuff like that. So, my brother-in-law, he's like, hey, we all kind of hate the Dodgers. I'm an Oakland A's fan. He's a Boston Red Sox fan, what have you. Growing up in the Bay Area, it just is like everybody hated the Dodgers. So he's like, "Oh, I can't wait to sell all my Shohei Ohtani cards to get all my money and all this, So, now maybe not necessarily with baseball for you guys, because I know you guys are into all sports. Like, is that huge, like a factor that you think about a lot? Are you always looking and seeing like, oh, this guy got traded or this, that, for your next move and what you're doing with your cards? Or are you guys just like low key, like collecting cards and like, it doesn't matter, I just want this? And
if they leave a team that I follow, then I drastically care less about them. Like, for example, like like LeBron's probably my favorite athlete, and when he's not a Cleveland Cavalier, I care drastically less about him.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even care if he wins as a Laker, outside of the fact I want my cards to go up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, again, if he's a guy I collect, completely different story. Unless he goes to a team that I can't stand, then that takes everything off the board. But I would look to, when I saw the news, the first thing I thought about was, okay, how many Ohtanis do I have at home that I can make, that I could get rid of? And it has nothing to do with him, going to the Dodgers, just not being an Angel anymore. It has more to him do about this contract. People are going to, people are going to want his cards. So if they're going to want his cards, I was never a Ohtani collector. Like, oh my gosh, I have to collect his cards. He's going to be my guy. So
yeah,
he could go.
That's kind of funny, because it's like, for me, I've been a diehard Alex Rodriguez fan since I was a little one. Followed him in the Mariners, followed him with the Rangers, increased the love more when he became a Yankee. Still love him till this day. I don't care what anybody says. But now, for individuals like Ohtani, this guy signed for almost $750 million. For those that's going to start gravitating towards his cards in Dodger blue, will that value play a role for his cardboard, knowing that for the 2024 season, he's not pitching?
Yeah, it's gonna be, no matter what we say, what we do, is gonna be interesting, where all eyes are gonna be on him, because if he goes, everyone knows he had Tommy John and he's not gonna be pitching. Now, if he comes up and he DHs and he's freaking home run like champ again, hits the most home runs, dude, the card market, like everything is insane. It's gonna go insane over him, like they did early last, most of all last season. I know, it's crazy.
He can have an experience like Joey Gallo when he got signed by the Yankees.
Oh God, I would not wish that on
$700 million. I'm expecting back-to-back MVPs. I'm expecting World Series appearances.
Yeah.
I think the thing is this. So, in the past, this switching leagues thing might have had, might have caused a little bit of a downfall. But now, with every team playing every team, National American League, East, West, Central. I mean, so you got to figure from that standpoint, he shouldn't, go, be there. I mean, I just wonder from a standpoint of, it's weird in that, and it's going to sound stupid, but if he hits 40 home runs and drives in 90 and bats 300.
Mm-hmm.
Is that an MVP in the National League without pitching? Without being able to go on, without being able to step on the mound. Now, I'm not saying I'm not saying he's not in contention for the MVP, but is that an MVP season when you look at some of the other players? You know, there's the guy who plays for the baseball team in Georgia, who's good.
But now the thing is, if he's putting up those numbers but doesn't deliver a World Series, how would that affect his card value for those that are now collecting them?
Well, I think so. To me, that's a two-pronged thing. Number one, and because I'm going to split it in half on you. The collector's not going to care. The investor's going to care.
And that's what I actually mean. Obviously, you've got those those sports card influencers, if you will.
Right.
They try to throw resumes out there for these players, make predictions and everything like that. You know, who's to say you don't see Jeff Wilson out there putting Ohtani in this stratosphere all by himself, but he doesn't deliver?
Oh, I agree. It's gonna be the big thing when look, every single player who has signed that kind of a contract, it's been a thing. I mean, Mookie Betts had it happen to him to a certain amount there. You know, when you go to a good team, I think it's different when you look at some of these younger guys who are signing these contracts. Right. You know, I don't think J-Rod had the same type of pressure put on him with his contract when he signed with the Mariners. But I think Trout went ahead and had the same thing happen when he signed his deal. So I think from that standpoint, Freddie had the same thing when, so yes, there's going to be, he has to deliver. My thing is this, and I wish no ill, but if that dude can't pitch or he's not able to come back from a second Tommy John, because you got to figure in reality, he won't be back to normal per se until 2026.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 2 more years of him not really being the type of pitcher that we saw him be over the last, 18 months or so. So that's going to be really, really interesting. That I think is going to be interesting to see what happens with card value and what people think about his value overall in the hobby.
Because what I can see is if you take, like, let's say, and I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Let's take Juan Soto, for example. Let's just say he left the Padres and he signed with the Cardinals, for example, or even worse than that, he went to the Rockies.
The Pirates. Oh, sorry, Anthony.
Oh.
Okay. He goes to the Rockies.
No respectable baseball player would do that, Michael.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost a guarantee the value of his cards are going to tank if he goes down to a low market team. But then if you take that kid who is in a low market team, let's just take Corbin Carroll, for example. We don't, when we think of the Diamondbacks, we don't think really consistent competition for the playoffs, the World Series or whatnot. Okay. You take him and put him in those big market teams, the Dodgers, the Astros, the Yankees, the Red Sox. More than likely, his value is going to shoot through the roof. But as far as performance is concerned, I mean, I do foresee that it does play a role in it, but also I just think the overall market of what team that player is going to.
For sure. That makes a lot of sense. Because you figure there's way more Yankees fans than there are Pirate fans, or, you know what I mean? Just the sheer number of people.
I also wonder that with him being able to just focus on hitting, because God, I can only pitching and playing the way he did, like, I just can only imagine the amount of effort, pressure that now he's gonna this next coming season. Now I don't know about down the line, but next year he'll be able to just focus on just the hitting aspect, and if he kills it,
and I mean the same thing with Juan Soto. I mean, everybody knows Soto for being dangerous at the plate. Defense, he's trash.
All I'm thinking about with Soto is if he can handle New York. It's always about, I feel like it with New York Yankees.
Well, there's been a couple of games
handle the atmosphere.
there's been a couple of games where Soto has embarrassed the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. You know, granted, he's not really one to go for at Yankee Stadium. Everybody knows a left-handed batter's, you know, pet peeve is that right field line, that 314-foot wall. Soto, he's got enough power to put it anywhere.
Yes.
You know, but if he pulls out a performance like Gallo did, one, not only his tenure with the Yankees is not going to be long. Number two, the value of those cards, I wouldn't even waste my time on them, to be honest.
Well, to your point, look, it's been said, and it has been proven many, many times. Top players in small markets have a hard time when they come to the bright lights of New York City.
Yeah.
It has happened on both, you know, it has happened in both teams and everything. I mean, you could think, you know, you can go back to, you know, the Ed Whitson, the plenty of players, you know, even, you know, so it's not like something new. It's happened a lot of times. You know, how is he going to do? Now, I think the advantage he has is that the kid's really been a superstar since, like, I don't know, the second week that he debuted. You know what I'm saying? So he's been in the limelight per se. So being in this limelight shouldn't be completely, you know, new to him.
But we're talking about a different limelight, though.
No. I'm saying, but I'm saying though, he's had the whole thing on him. He's had people ask him why when he hasn't had good yet. Hey, what the hell happened to you in San Diego? Why were you so good in Washington? Why were you crap? Why weren't you not as good in San Diego when they needed you? When you had better players around you than when you had in Washington. I think he will do well. I think he will be able to handle it well. I think he is more of a pressure player. I think you will see him do well. Will he re-sign?
Hopefully.
To be determined.
Who knows?
It would be nice because he's only 25.
Yes.
You know,
I could see him doing a short-termer. If he doesn't get the kind of deal he wants, I can see him doing maybe like a 3-year and then re-popping out into free agency, you know, when he is 28 years old.
And I think if he just, you know, because I do know for a fact he's got good influence in that clubhouse. You know, Judge will likely take him under his wing, as the captain should, and let him know, look, man, you want to make it in New York, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
You know, so hopefully he'll put him in that comfort zone like he felt in Washington, that he was feeling in San Diego. And he'll probably progress at that point in New York. So that way, you know, everybody who is involved in the sport, not only as a fan, a team member, but even a car collector, you know, because car collectors, when they see their guy doing great, all they're seeing is dollar figures adding up. That's all they see. So, I mean, who's to say he ends 2024 with a 300 average, 40-something home runs? You go to the card show the day after the season ends, you find a Soto rookie at a card show, and the dude's selling it for like $500.
All this talk is just making me really excited for baseball season. I'm like, miss baseball so much right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I can't wait. Oh, wait a second. I'm an A's fan. Dang.
Yeah, I feel the same way here as a Pirates fan, so I feel you.
Yeah. Oh man. If I get one more person say something to me about Las Vegas, and
hopefully O'Neal Cruz doesn't get banged up again.
Oh,
I'll tell you what, he's one of the bright spots that gives me hope for the future.
Yes.
Especially with them actually being willing to re-sign players right now. You know, I see Jason Bay in the chat. I mean, it was like the minute he became good, the Pirates like shipped him right off, and that's like they have a history of doing that. So seeing some of the young core get like second contracts is like super encouraging, especially because it literally feels like the minute like anybody gets any kind of shine behind them, they're like, okay, let's sell them off for Sugardale hot dogs so we can keep the promos going at the stadium or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
because
seems
he's
like they care
another
more
one
about that stuff than they do winning.
He's another one. When 23 kicked off, he was the hottest thing out there until he got injured Okay. And then you slowly started seeing everybody steering away from picking up anything O'Neal Cruz related. I mean, you still have those diehard fans out there. I'm still going to ride him out. He'll just bounce back and get stronger for 24. But then you have others. I can't make no money off this clown, you know?
Oh.
So, I mean,
I pick it up.
Flippers usually come in, right? You get a bunch of those base cards. Yes, that you're going to pick them up for $1 or so, and who knows, maybe he all of a sudden comes around. And if you're on the low end type stuff, which is where I tend to deal with, I flip more in the less than $20 cards. I mean, for those, hey, you'll turn around and be able to sell them probably $5-6 bucks if he goes ahead and comes out getting hot. Same thing with the other Cruz, De La Cruz, right? The exact same way, with him. What is Cincinnati going to do? I mean, I know the deal that Jackson Churio signed and everything, and that one is very interesting. But it makes you wonder what's going to more of that. You wonder if that is going to have to happen more with the smaller market teams to try and at least give themselves a shot at keeping these guys.
And that brings up a good point. Like with Adrian's A's, what big names are on that roster currently?
Are you serious right now?
I'm going to say, is that a trick question? Because she's not answering.
I have a point behind this. Who are some notable names on that roster?
They're notable to me. I don't know if they're notable to, Shea Langoliers went there. Ryan Noda had a good season. Who else am I thinking of?
Mason Miller,
the pitcher. Yeah, Mason Miller. I mean, we've got we have a lot of really great up and comers. Oh God, who's the Bowman first that just came out? Zach
Neto?
No,
Zach Neto's on the Angels.
No, Getloff or something like that. Geloff.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
So individuals like that were getting their careers established while still in Oakland, they was building towards establishing their personal value. Okay. Now, will the move from Oakland to Vegas help them or hurt them? Because you know how everybody says in life, we all need a clean slate, a fresh start, and all that. Does that rule or that statement apply when it comes to collecting sports cards when a team picks up from one state to move to another?
I think there's going to be some people that are into it because the whole new team thing. Because I remember clearly when the Colorado Rockies were established, and when I was in, what was that, 98 or something like that, I had to have all the Colorado Rockies stuff. I thought it was the coolest thing, but I was a kid. I don't know, and things have changed. The thing with the whole Oakland to Vegas thing, we still have the same owners. They're the reason the team is garbage, in my opinion. This whole thing that happened is just like, it makes me sick. It makes me sick. So,
well, I mean, hopefully for those young up and coming players who got to experience such a drastic change in environment, like Langoliers and all those other guys, hopefully it works out in their favor, and for everybody who is in that farm system that does get called up, granted, they didn't have the opportunity to play in Oakland for those fans, but it should be a smooth transition from wherever they're playing at for their minor leagues to Vegas, so I mean, there's so many factors in real world situations with the sport that dictate hobby value, really. Whether it's a trade, whether it's, a milestone reached or anything like that.
But I think the thing that when you look at the young guys, and somebody mentioned Ruiz, when you look at Langoliers, when you look at these young guys, I'm going to tell you right now, there will be a bump in their cards. And I'm not maybe not dollar wise, but I think you'll see more of them get sold. Why? Because the fans that live in Vegas and now have a team that if they're going to want to if they're going to want to support, if they're going to want to start to collect, they got to go back and collect Oakland A's cards of these guys. Because they're going to have to wait, for the Vegas ones, right? So
well, that depends too. Maybe the older generation of residents of Vegas, but these new kids, nah, I don't see that. Like, who's gonna go? What 17 to 21-year-old you're gonna know is gonna go out there and get a Ricky Henderson card? I'm sorry, Reggie Jackson.
No, I agree. No, but that's what I'm saying. But when they start to see them play, right, and it gets more about, hey, they're coming, so on and so forth. I think that's where you'll see a little bit of an uptick in the volume of the Oakland A's cards of those players sell. The lower value ones. I'm not talking about, you're right. I don't think Raleigh Fingers cards and Reggie Jackson and Ricky Henderson and Catfish Hunter and all those guys, I don't think those cards all of a sudden, wow, are going to be for the 17-year-old. But Esteury Ruiz, Langoliers, some of these guys, I think that are young players now playing there that they're going to want to jump in and get some of them.
Yeah, and they will probably, because I'm just throwing a dart in the dark. I'm pretty sure a lot of the Nevada residents probably were rooting for teams outside like Arizona, maybe California. So now they can actually enjoy the sport with their own team. Unless you got those diehard fans where they're willing to drive however long it takes to get from Vegas or wherever part of Nevada all the way to Los Angeles to go see the Dodgers or whoever.
I was skeptical with how Vegas would treat a hometown team, but I mean the way that they've embraced the Golden Knights,
open arms,
even the Raiders at this point, what I mean? So if anything, it gives them an opportunity to grow the fan base because now they have all of the Vegas people that'll essentially start cheering. But the big thing is, are they going to lose Bay Area fans? Bay Area people are going to be like, oh, screw these guys. We're just going to root for the Giants now.
Well, they lost one that's sitting on your screen at the top left.
Yeah, I'm not feeling good about any of this. But you guys are making good points, though. I'm thinking about those players. They work so hard. I've gone to Oakland so many times. That facility is just. I was thinking about what you guys are saying. I'm thinking about those players, and they go to a nice new facility, and that's really good for their morale and stuff like that. And then if you've got Vegas like they with the Knights, they give them all. I mean, making some good points. So just
well, like Stick said, the Vegas Knights completely different. Hard to go ahead and compare them to another expansion team or anything like that because, like Stick said, they changed the rules to make sure that that they were going to have a good team because I think they saw some of this crap that was going on in some of the warmer, non-traditional hockey areas and realized they had to do something that you couldn't put a team in there. When you figure the amount of people that travel to that city, it pays to have a good team for people to leave the strip for or to include in their strip vacation to go over to the hockey stadium and watch. I think you're right though. Will this not? I don't know how much. I don't know how much the players can be energized because the ownership is the same. So to your point. If they're still going to have the same operating mentality, does it make a difference?
Was the move worth?
Yeah,
right.
If they're not going to keep any players, they sell everybody off, and it's constantly like a minor league team where you don't have anybody staying long enough, and you don't get those leaders or those big name players. I just don't. Maybe they go there for a year or two and it feels good, but then it just if the ownership stays the same or keeps doing the same things, I don't see how it could, produce a competitive baseball team. So,
definitely.
And then even if you do develop, even if you have the opportunity and you're fortunate and they do develop some young talent, do they keep them?
Yeah,
that's going to be the other piece.
Definitely. Yeah. But one thing that I did want to ask you, gentlemen, because we was gonna make a whole segment of it, Adrian and I, for the last podcast of the year. But since we don't foresee you guys actually coming on the last podcast of the season, we'll go ahead and just throw it out there. What are your expectations for the hobby in 2024?
More of the same, if I'm being honest. Like, I think like what we've seen like from companies, we're going to continue to see from companies. What we've seen from influencers, we're going to continue to see from influencers. And I think honestly, what we've seen in card prices, we're going to continue to see that, fluctuations. When something comes out, it's going to be super hot. As the product ages, it's going to continue to lose value unless it's like a key player. You know what I mean? It seems like every set there's one or two key players that hold value. You know what I mean? Like if you think long term over the years, like if you think of any of like the early 90 products that don't include Derek Jeter when you're talking baseball, majority of them are not very valuable sets. I think most of the sets we are ripping nowadays are going to be in that same category one day. But I think Fanatics is doing enough to add enough hype to it and enough chase to it that I think it's going to at least stay relevant, though, like to where you're going to keep having these crazy one-of-ones where people are, kind of like the flawless hype. Everybody is chasing the LeBron logo, man. Like they're creating that buzz with the Tom Brady stuff. I'd like to see them do more of that coming into the next year. You know what I mean? Like you guys mentioned, like other players that, like who's bigger than Tom Brady? I don't know, maybe get Michael Jordan to do one next, or maybe do something pop culture-esque, in your interline, you know what I mean, where you're capitalizing off of what Leaf is doing really well, or what Panini does with fans of the game, you know what I mean, where you can get like somebody who's a fan of whatever baseball team, and all of a sudden if they're in the baseball card, even give them an auto or something like that. So I think with the innovations, like Fanatics is genuinely trying to 10x the hobby. So with that, there's going to be a lot of innovations and stuff like that, which I think is going to make it a lot more fun as a collector. And I think the market right now is really just skewed towards the collector. Like right now, I'm able to go out there and buy cards that I never thought I'd be able to afford just because the prices have come down so high, or so much, for the most part that if you are somebody who genuinely wants to collect cards for your PC, like they're becoming affordable again, which is nice. You know what I mean?
So if Michael Rubin happens to be your neighbor, for example, he came over, one, asking for some sugar to borrow, and two, if there was one thing you would want to add or change to what he's doing operation-wise on the daily, what would that be?
I would just want to see more accountability, and have some kind of regulation to what they're doing. Other than that, I love the innovations. I love all the stuff. Like, I understand business is cutthroat regardless of which level you're out or which business you're in. So if it wasn't sports cards, it could be like Hanes out there making underwear. You know what I mean? They probably cut someone else's neck to be the top underwear brand out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I would just like to see more accountability to where, it's not the wild, wild west out there and people can't.
And that's a big one too. Definitely.
Nice.
What about you there, Mike?
I think you will continue to see the demise of retail. I think the so-called some of these, lame things that you're seeing thrown into retail, are just, to kind of sort of try and make people want to buy it. I think the more rarity, or not necessarily, but the more that it's going to move towards the hobby, the more expensive stuff, the hobby boxes, the jumbos, the HTAs, stuff like that. I think I can't see prices going backwards that much. I mean, because people are still buying it, right? People are still buying that product. I may not be buying retail, and I think that's why. So unless you're going to, in a way, rob from Peter to pay Paul, rob some stuff out of hobby to put in retail, that's the only way you're going to keep retail going.
Right.
From that standpoint. So I don't know whether they care about retail, wanting to be good or not, when you don't, in reality, you don't need it to. you really don't need retail to be good because Layton's not opening retail. They're not open. I don't think they're opening it on Fanatics Live. Maybe they are.
Nobody's
but
opening retail.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Backyard ain't doing it. Blez ain't doing it. Just go through all of them. Look on Whatnot, right? You're not seeing, hey, look, we have a retail product break. Hey, I went to Walmart and Target and grabbed all the blasters, of product. NBA hoops, NHL, football, baseball, and I'm doing a massive break. You guys all want to go ahead and jump in and stuff, know. So I think from that standpoint. Now, if you were to turn around and say, hey, guess what? We are going to spread out somehow percentage-wise the real hits that people want across all the different ones, across hangers, fat packs, blasters, mega, so on and so forth. That would be my thing to Michael Rubin. Say, hey, this is what you want to do, because you can't build the hobby up to the younger generations, and I don't care how much little Timmy is spending mom and dad's money, because for every little Timmy, there's a little Mary and a little Bobby and a little Sue whose mom and dad can't afford to buy $150 and up box. They got to try and buy the box at retail. And I mean, yes, that kid is going to be okay with it in the beginning, but when he gets in the hobby, all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute. I don't have a chance at getting all this good stuff.
Yeah.
What do I want to keep spending my money?
For sure.
Definitely.
Good point.
And that's what sucks, because some of these breakers, could they even sustain a business off of retail at this point with as watered down as it's become?
Yeah.
Oh, there's some that's doing it good though. There's some. I could think of 3 right now. Car Collector 2 being one of them, the biggest one, if not.
Right. Yeah. Random rips. I'm not saying that people don't buy, that collectors don't buy retail. There's a difference. There's a difference there. But the collector, like for instance, the J-Rod 1-of-1 SUPERFRACTOR that Mr. Enfuego wants from whatever year is probably not, was probably not, if I don't know if it's been pulled or not, but if it was, it probably was not sitting in a blaster. Now they do that with the Bowman stuff. I'll give them credit. They at least do. But when you talk about the other products that, that you don't see it as often. You're right. Most collectors can't buy hobby boxes. But I don't think, in my opinion, they're marketing to collectors anymore. Because collectors do something, collectors don't spend the kind of money that they want spent in the hobby. Because when you collect something, you don't normally turn around and sell it. You collect it. They want somebody to come in, buy this card for $1,000 or $2,000, and then hopefully in a year and a half or 2 years sell it for $3,000 or $4,000. That's what they want to have happen. That's the news in the hobby.
Right.
The news is not. Guess what? Some guy just bought a collection of player X. They don't want. No, I want to hear about it being sold. I don't want to hear about it being collected.
Yeah.
Well, guys, you guys made a lot of good points tonight. I'm thinking the whole thing. I'm thinking retail is getting to where it's too expensive too. So
it really is.
It's just
$40
with the value not being there.
Yeah, I know. When I saw those update boxes, Chrome update go for $40, I was like, God, are you serious right now? So yeah,
I picked one up and then turned around and put it back on the shelf. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. Nope. Yep.
You figure when we just talked about the top 5, you're talking about PSA 10 sell for $55. Meanwhile, the blaster box is $40. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But even if you hit the main rookie and you're lucky enough to get a PSA 10, it's worth $15 more than that box you just paid for. And then
now, mind you,
PSA is going to be more than that.
That $50 PSA 10 exclude the service fees for getting it graded. Is it still really worth $50?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to about wrap it up there. We're a little bit over an hour today. Special thank you to everybody that's with us tonight live on YouTube. A lot of comments in the chat rolling tonight. Anthony, Michael, thank you so much for being on with us tonight. hopefully there's more of this in the future. Us on your channel, you're coming back onto ours, and
We would love that.
you guys are awesome. You guys, again, check out Huddle Cards Collection. That's Michael there on my right, maybe on your left. And then below me here, I got Pittsburgh Anthony. Check out their YouTube channels. Everything's in the description. They've got great channels. They're great people in this card community. And also, don't forget my battle buddy over here next to me.
Speaking of that, there will not be an after hours show today because of how this podcast actually turned out. So I think it was both Adrian and I came to an agreement that we devote more time to the actual podcast. The after hours show can be put off to the back burner for next week.
Yep, we'll be back at it next week. Podcast at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and then
after hours show later.
Yes, what he said. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and everybody have a great night.